Hi, this is Mr. New and welcome to another episode of Illustrator CS5 for Eastech. In this episode we're going to be talking about the alignment tools and also about clipping masks. So let's go ahead and get started. I went ahead and opened up a file and I created some images out here. On the left you're going to notice one artboard where I actually have 3 different sets of colors of 7 spheres each. On the right, I created just a random illustration in the upper right, and I have just a basic star image on the lower left. The right is going to be our clipping mask, the left is going to be our alignment. Let's start with the alignment tools. A few things we have not talked about yet is grouping. Well, right now, if I click on each one of these items, they are independent of each other, and they are not grouped at all. We're going to talk about how to group. We have talked about layers, however, so I'm going to go ahead and open up my layers panel, and this all happens to be in layer 1. And notice how we have all of our blue, white, and red spheres all lined up. But we're going to go ahead and start with the blue side, and I'm going to set my position for the top and bottom sphere. So my top sphere I want to leave about there. The bottom sphere I'm going to drag down about to here. And if I select them all, I want to align them evenly from top to bottom. Over here on the right, there's also something called the Align tool. I'll go ahead and open it up right now. And I want to make sure that I align to selection. First thing I want to do is I want to do a horizontal alignment to center, and then I want to go to distribute spacing and vertical. So now that has made them all nice and neat in a row. I now want to make sure that my red and white are aligned evenly with that top section. In fact, I'm going to move this red one over a little bit. So if I click on my blue and then shift click on the white and the red, we're talking about the very top sphere. On this one, I want to align to key object. Now my key object is going to have a dark blue circle around it, as you see that my blue sphere has. If it didn't have it on it, I can click on another object and have that as the key. But I want the blue sphere to be my key. I'm going to do a distribute vertical distribution center, and then I'm going to do a horizontal distribute space. I'm going to do the same thing with the bottom. Click on the bottom blue sphere, shift click on the white, shift click on the red, align to key object again. Make sure that my blue sphere is the one that is highlighted. And once again, we are going to vertical distribute. I'm going to go ahead and now align all of my red objects. And on this one, it's going to be align to key object because I want them all to align to the very top sphere. So I'm going to horizontal align center and now align to selection. And now I'm going to distribute vertical. I'm going to do the exact same thing for the white. I'm first going to align to key object, make sure that I'm aligning to the top sphere, horizontal, go back to align selection, and then distribute vertical. I'm still not quite done. I want to group these for the next few steps. So I'm going to select all of my blue, and I can always go up to object and click group, but notice the shortcut is a Command G. I went ahead and grouped those. I'm now going to do the white, and this time I am going to do a Command G, and now all the reds, Command G. And if I look at my layers for a moment, look what happened. All of a sudden, all of my colors have now turned into groups. If I open those up, there's all the blues, there's all the whites, there's all the reds. With those in groups now, I can select everything, go back to my alignment. I'll do the first align to selection to make sure that I am spaced evenly on the vertical. Okay, now that I know that they're evenly distributed between each other, I'm going to create a new group. I'm going to select everything and do a Command G one more time. So now all of these spheres are in one group. I look at my layer and I have a group, and when I open that group I have 3 new groups, and as we saw before, each one of those groups is each color. If I go to my alignment now, I can align to the artboard, distribute horizontal and distribute vertical, and now these are perfectly aligned for my artboard, both horizontal and vertical, into each other. Let's move on to the clipping mask. Now the clipping mask is kind of an interesting object as well. Let's select this artboard. I'll go back to my layers for a moment. This is all on layer 2, by the way. If you notice, I have all these different pieces out here. I want the star to be separate than these objects, but I want all these objects to be grouped. So I'm going to go ahead and select all of those and then do a Command G. Watch the artboard as I hit Command G. It just now created a group. And I want the object that's going to be the clipping mask is on the top layer. So if I grab this, drag this down on top of my star, and now I reselect everything. If I go to Object, Clipping Mask, Make, it has now clipped everything within the shape of that star. So anyways, I have all my objects right inside of there. If I wanted to move any individual piece around, I can double click until I isolate it. If I keep double clicking, I can get each individual piece separate. And I can move that around to a new spot. And let's say I'm going to go ahead and click this oval and push it up a little higher. So now it gives me the points of the star. So I can play around with it any way I want to get the look I want. But this is a way that I can create a clipping mask of any shape. Doesn't matter what kind of shape it is. It could be something I've created. It could be one of the standard shapes. Doesn't matter. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next episode.